Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host Omar Khalid. Today is the 6th of June 2024, and these are the stories that we will be highlighting during the course of the show. We'll discuss our Prime Minister Shehbazsharif's visit to China. He's in Beijing as we speak. There have been very important meetings that have happened, many important MOUs that have been signed in Shenzhen, and also other important commitments that have been made from both the sides as far as different fields are concerned. This is a very important visit of our Prime Minister Shehbazsharif to China, and there are different aspects that need to be highlighted, which we will be doing from a Chinese and a Pakistani perspective in our first segment. Our second story, ladies and gentlemen, concerns the Israel-Palestine war, genocide, crimes against humanity, day 244. And of course, as far as the details go, around 36,654 people have lost their lives, while around 83,300 people have been wounded since this all began on the 7th of October last year. The US and 16 allied countries say they are going to fully support the ceasefire and captives release deal that was outlined last Friday by the US President Joe Biden. But the big question is whether Israel will accept it or not. At least 40 people have been killed and dozens wounded in an Israeli attack on a school, on a UN school that was sheltering displaced people and houses in the Nuseirat refugee camp. This and more is going to be discussed in our second segment, and we are going to discuss the world's rich people that are getting wealthier, richer. The world has never seen so many rich people and in their investments soaring stock markets that have made them wealthier than ever, according to a study that has been published on Wednesday, that's yesterday. There are a number of net high worth individuals, or HNWI, have risen by 5.1%. Then finally we are going to of course discuss the death anniversary of renowned writer Anwarsajjad. The 5th death anniversary of this renowned playwright and fiction writer is being observed today. This is the lineup for today. Let's begin without further ado about Pakistan's Premier Shehbazsharif and his entourage's visit to China. It's a very important visit in the whole context of the CPEC phase 2, as well as other MOUs, agreements, and the collaboration and cooperation between Pakistan and China in different spheres. We've been joined by two guests. Let me introduce them to you one by one. In the studios, we've been joined by Dr. Manzoor Ahmad. He's a trade arbitrator with the WTO and a leading economist. Thank you very much, Dr. Saab, to have joined us. From China, Feng Yilei joins us. She is a CGTN reporter. Feng, thank you very much to have joined us as well. Feng, I'll begin with you. How, in your point of view, do you view this visit of our Prime Minister Shehbazsharif as an entourage to further consolidate the strengthening, the broadening, the expanding ties between the People's Republic of China and the Islamic Republic of Pakistan? How are the Chinese people looking at this visit?
Thank you very much. Actually, this visit by your Prime Minister Shehbazsharif and his large delegation holds immense significance for further, let's say, cementing, reinforcing, and even expanding the relations between China and Pakistan. And it really stresses the deep-rooted and robust all-weather strategic partnership between the two countries. And first, I should say this is the first official visit by Prime Minister Sharif since he took office, and it underscored the paramount priority Pakistan places on its iron brother China. And during his visit, Prime Minister Shehbazsharif will meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping, Premier Li Qiang, and Chairman of Standing Committee of China's top legislature Zhao Leji. And these high-level meetings will focus on deepening bilateral relations and addressing issues of a mutual concern and laying out a blueprint for the future development of China-Pakistan relations. And that's according to China's Foreign Ministry. And also, according to experts we have spoken to earlier, the in-depth discussions between both sides are expected to touch upon the second phase of the transformative China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or the CPEC, and identification of new cooperative avenues across sectors like industry, agriculture, IT, and new energy, which has been instrumental in not just transforming Pakistan's economic landscape, but also promoting the so-called new quality productive forces that China has been pursuing. And notably, Prime Minister Sharif is accompanied by, as I mentioned, a massive business delegation representing around 80 Pakistani companies, and that signals this economic and trade thrust of this trip to elevate bilateral cooperation to new heights. And beyond economies, I think his visit allows two countries to enhance security cooperation and coordinate positions on regional and global issues. And both are expected to broaden the scope of bilateral cooperation and emphasizing, for example, regional security. And also cultural and people-to-people exchanges are also on the agenda to deepen the deep-rooted bonds between the two nations. And of course, high-level engagements would reinforce mutual trust and lay the ground for concrete projects among the two peoples. And overall, I think this visit spanning multiple sectors lay out a robust roadmap for the two countries to forge on an even closer China-Pakistan community with a shared future in a new era.
All right, stay online with us, Feng. We've also been joined by Dr. Manzoor Ahmad from the WTO. Dr. Manzoor, Prime Minister Shehbazsharif has spent a very busy day today in Beijing, and of course his day hasn't ended. As we all know, his day has very less sleeping hours and almost 20 working hours. Anyways, 32 memoranda of understanding are signed at the Pakistan-China Business Forum in Shenzhen to boost bilateral trade and investment relations between the two countries. 500 Chinese companies and 100 companies from Pakistan have participated in the forum. And of course, there have been different also other engagements that have happened today that we will discuss in detail also. How do you see these engagements, whether you look at Shenzhen, whether you look at Beijing, as a testament to the strengthening of relations between our two countries?
Well, I see it very important for strengthening relationship. One or two things. I mean, we had this big CPEC phase 1, you see, and then in between COVID and change of government and everything came. So CPEC had kind of slowed down a little bit. Now this visit with, so many our ministers and these MOUs and all that shows that the second phase will get into full swing after this. And the lady from China just pointed out that, she pointed out 3 focus areas. That was energy, agriculture, industry. And obviously the next phase of CPEC will have a lot of, because first phase was more about energy and communication, about roads, etc. Next phase is more about production, agriculture production, industrial production, and these things, and then IT. So these things. And also, I think behind the scene, they're looking at a lot of Pakistan's mineral wealth, how to exploit that and do this. And I think this 32 MOU means that there are 30, at least these on the very first day, 32 different projects on which work will hopefully commence very soon.
All right, wonderful. Feng, coming to you, in a post on his Twitter handle, our Prime Minister refers to his participation in the China-Pakistan Business Forum in Shenzhen. He says he highlighted bilateral trade and investment potentially in key areas, some of them you've mentioned as well, transfer of Chinese technology, industry and partnership in the IT sector, in agriculture, in mining, in steels, in textiles and renewable energy. What are the avenues that you feel China feels need to be worked upon in the second phase of the CPEC?
Well, first of all, I should say it's all about taking the partnership to the next level, which a doctor has also mentioned earlier, by focusing on several key areas. And based on the pronouncements from both sides, some critical areas focus in CPEC second phase may include infrastructure, industry and agriculture, green development, science and technology, and people's well-being, and enhancing the transfer of Chinese technology, as you mentioned, to Pakistan is crucial. This includes, for example, advanced manufacturing technologies, IT infrastructure, and innovations in artificial intelligence, of course, and, for example, smart agriculture. And this can modernize Pakistan's industrial base and boost productivity across various sectors. And also, earlier when I spoke to Ahsan Iqbal, your Federal Minister of Planning, Development and Special Initiatives, he said China's technological advancements can help your country to leapfrog in various sectors. And the focus, particularly in AI and smart agriculture and advanced manufacturing technologies, will be a game changers for the economy. And also, in terms of industrial partnership, special economic zones can be developed to facilitate joint ventures in industry like, as you said, steel, textiles, or even mining, to provide incentives for Chinese companies, I should say, to invest in Pakistan. And also the creation of those SEZs under CPEC will very likely provide a fantastic opportunity for industrial cooperation. And by attracting Chinese investment and expertise, and likewise developing joint ventures is also very likely to play a crucial role in facilitating these partnerships. And besides, there is a significant focus on sustainable development, including renewable energy projects and climate resilience initiatives. And collaborative projects in renewable energy will not only address climate change, but also provide reliable energy sources for industrial growth. And China's experience in solar, wind, and other renewable energies can probably help Pakistan to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels and move forward into a more sustainable energy future. And besides, I should say, enhancing, for example, agriculture collaboration to ensure food security and modernize agriculture practices is also crucial. And modernizing critical infrastructure and improved logistics and transportation networks will enhance trade efficiency and economic connectivity within Pakistan and even with its neighbors. And also building human capital through training and educational exchanges is essential, as this will ensure a skilled workforce capable of sustaining and advancing the new technologies and industries, as I mentioned, to be introduced. And also I think just these avenues align with the strategic goals of not just Pakistan, but both countries, to create a robust, diversified economic partnership that benefits from each other's advantages. So I should say the second phase of CPEC is not just about infrastructure, but about building a comprehensive and sustainable future.
All right. Dr. Manzoor, you heard what Feng had to say. Now, our Prime Minister met with the chairman of China International Cooperation Agency, that is SITCA, in Beijing. He appreciated the robust support of SITCA. We've seen that in the CPEC projects. And for Pakistan's socio-economic development, he highlighted Pakistan-China Friendship Hospital, the desalination plant in Gwadar, and the new Gwadar International Airport. Terming the CPEC as a hallmark of the friendship between Pakistan and China, both were, noted that the joint working group of socio-economic development that is under the ambit of CPEC has yielded positive results. How do you see SITCA's role in CPEC development with the projects that our Prime Minister has named?
I think this agency will have a role in all the things that you mentioned. First, I mean, Gwadar has been the big, I should say, big project for CPEC, because this is the opening. But somehow the progress was a little uneven. Sometimes get going, then stop. But it seems that finally it is getting there.
All right.
I mean, they're just about the airport, and port is becoming functional. There's industrial zones becoming functional. So around Gwadar, that will be the one big thing. I think the other big area where its role will be very important is in those special economic zones. There were one in each province. I mean, there are others, but which have really gone a long way, which are now near. The industry is already being set up, so they are going into the next phase. One in Rashaki, another Lama Iqbal here in Punjab, third one Balochistan, and one in Sindh in Dabiji. So these, plus those special IT zones, etc. I think that will be the second role. I think the third will be to, I mean, our industrial productivity has not been, up to the mark. And now it seems that China would be, we just heard about from young lady there about transfer of technology. That's very important to improve productivity. So all these things I think will, and then this IA, the artificial intelligence, AI, that will make a big difference. I mean, I think all these things I think are going to push us into the next level.
All right, let's hope that happens sooner than later. Feng, I'd like to come to you. Whether it be our Prime Minister addressing the Pakistan-China Business Forum in Shenzhen yesterday or today as well, Prime Minister Shehbazsharif has said that the government has taken various measures to protect the lives of every Chinese working across the country since the attack that happened in Bisham. He said no effort will be spared for the protection of Chinese nationals in Pakistan. How important is this statement from a Chinese perspective?
Well, judging from the Chinese people that I have talked to, the assurance given by Prime Minister Shehbazsharif has been positively received by them. And especially, as I said, given the past incidents of violence, such reassurance are critical in maintaining the confidence among Chinese workers and investors in Pakistan. And as you said, yes, Prime Minister, he reiterated in his speech upon arrival, and it really highlighted the seriousness with which Pakistan takes in partnership with China. And I think, as I said, when we spoke to business people involved in cooperative projects, they told us it's really a commitment to safety and stability, and it is essential for continued success of bilateral projects and the overall health of the China-Pakistan economic relationship. So, and also, I have spoke to some of the officials from the Pakistan government, and we have seen some concrete measures being taken, and the Chinese public, they appreciate these efforts and view them as a necessary step to ensure the smooth continuation of joint projects under CPEC. So we are looking forward and to see how those measures, approaches are going to make any difference.
All right. Dr. Manzoor, with the chairman of SITCA, both the leaders, our Prime Minister and the chairman of SITCA, have said that the momentum as far as CPEC phase 2 is concerned will go on, continue in the same vein to improve lives and livelihoods of the people. They have also talked about expanding bilateral partnership in infrastructure development, climate change response, human resource development, including under the ambit of the BRI and the GDI, that is the Global Development Initiatives. Now, in the exchange, in this context of these warm exchange of views, how will this expansion in these fields, in the infrastructure development, climate change response, human resource development, as underlined by Chairman SITCA, benefit the phase 2 of CPEC?
I think one of the most important is this human development, because if we have all the industry, but if we don't have the right manpower, we don't get very far. And I think in the past this was a little bit ignored in the system. I mean, there were more Chinese labor coming, and they were mostly trying to do things themselves. But hopefully, I mean, there were trained many people, but still it was not to the same level.
All right.
Hopefully, in the next phase, it will be more of our own people. So, and because of this technology transfer, so that we can run these things. So this is one of the most important things. I think one or two other things that Pakistan could, one example is recently we had this in news items, US putting tariffs on Chinese cars, etc. And China has really gone miles ahead in electric vehicles. I mean, producing more vehicles than the two combined, US and EU combined. So China has more. And so it can really help Pakistan, especially in some, maybe cars perhaps will come at a later stage. But we have a big, our domestic users of motorbikes, and we are quite successul in tractors already. A few thousands are being exported. So if these things, I mean, in cars I can see China is rare, but these are some sectors where Pakistan can make a big name for itself.
All right. I'll take that into consideration. Finally, Feng Yilei, I'd like to understand something that our Prime Minister said yesterday in Shenzhen and today in Beijing as well. He repeated one important thing, and I'd like to understand what that is, and that is the China's development model. Our Prime Minister said yesterday in Shenzhen that he vows to replicate China's successful model of development in Pakistan. Today, he repeated the same thing at another forum. Yesterday, he had said that in a meeting with the Global, in an interview that he gave in the Global Times, and an article that was published by the Global Times, and today he said this at an important forum. While addressing it, he also talked about upgrading version of the CPEC that envisions over 60 high quality cooperation projects. When he talks about the Chinese development model, what is it? We'd like to understand a little bit about it, because from your perspective, you would be able to better, make us understand that. How has China also gained from this development model?
Well, first of all, I should say, as I said, China's development model is a very comprehensive and even complicated idea. So I would like to put it in a simple way. So if you look at China's development, it has been nothing short of transformative. So by implementing, let's say, market-oriented reforms and opening up to global trade, China has achieved rapid economic growth in the past decades, and massive infrastructure investments have supported industrialization and the urbanization of the country, and our targeted poverty alleviation programs have lifted millions out of poverty. And nowadays, if you look at China, technological innovation has propelled the country up the global value chain, and China has also been very active in embracing green development, addressing environmental challenges with sustainable solutions. And Beijing has put a strong emphasis nowadays on education and innovation and robust industrial policies. So when we talk about Pakistan in terms of the collaboration between the two countries, China has always called on other developing countries to follow their own paths of modernization and explore development paradigms that tailor to their own conditions. But China is also willing to share its experience, those experience I have mentioned. So basically, the success of CPEC, I should say, is a testament to the benefits of this model. And it's not just about economic gains or making money. It's about creating jobs, improving infrastructure, and fostering innovation. And it's not about adopting China's development approach or replicating what China has done before. It's about China that demonstrates its potential benefits when adapted to Pakistan's unique context, and enhancing the quality of life for citizens from both countries, and fostering a strong China-Pakistan community for shared future.
All right. Thank you so very much, Feng Yilei, correspondent from CGTN, joining us all the way from China to give us a Chinese perspective of this visit of our Premier Shehbazsharif and his entourage to China. Thank you very much to have joined us. Let's come back to Dr. Manzoor. Our Prime Minister meets with Dr. Wu Fulin, who's the chairman of the Eximbank. And of course, he says that the Prime Minister highlights the reform agenda of the Pakistan's government that talks about governance, taxation and ease of doing business to attract FDI. How do you view the role of the Eximbank while supporting the modernization of industries, agriculture and IT sectors of Pakistan, and financing Pakistan-China joint venture projects and trade financing as part of efforts to boost Pakistan's exports to international markets? This was also discussed during this meeting with both the leaders.
Yeah, well, Exim, as you know, is exports import bank. So it is about trade. Promoting, so there's a specialized bank for promoting exports of a country. But this has been a big problem for Pakistan. Its exports got stagnant for the last at least for the last 15 years. We have been losing international trade share. Hopefully now one of the problems was that unlike China, which opened up its industry to competition, we were unable to do that. But hopefully now, I think with new thinking, the new finance minister, he's already, even before he became the finance minister, he signed as a president of the bank, Habib Bank, he signed up with Pakistan opening up trade, industry, etc. So this will be big, because if we are able to say from 2001, 2007, 2002, we were increasing our exports about 14-15%. If we can once again achieve something similar, our exports could double, 4 or 5 years, and that will take care of our, normally we have something like 30 billion exports and 30 billion remittances, but then our imports are always about 20 billion more than that. So if we are able to double our exports, and I think that big problem of trade deficit, etc., will be sorted out. So I'm very hopeful that if indeed the Prime Minister wants to follow the Chinese model, that was the Chinese model after 1980, to open up the economy and to expose the industry to competition so that they become more efficient and they can export.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Manzoor Ahmed Saab, to have joined us and to have talked to us about not only the Pakistan-China tangent of relations, but also how Pakistan can benefit not only from the Chinese development model, but also from the Chinese experience and through the robust progress that China has itself made over the last decades. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Let's come to our second story, and that concerns day 244 of the Israel-Palestine conflict. We've been joined by Nader Alturk. He's the Deputy Head of Mission, Palestine Embassy in Pakistan. Brother Nader, thank you very much to have joined us. I'd like to begin with the latest figures. The bombing of the southern and central Gaza continues. There are reports of fighting that is going on. At least 36,600 people have lost their lives. 83,300 plus people have been injured. 235 just in the last 24 hours. 40 people have been killed in the bombing of a United Nations school that was in the Nusairat refugee camp, in Deir al-Bala, in other refugee camps also. The bombing continues, so do the casualties. Of course, the whole displacement of people from Rafah is also taking place, but when the people go from Rafah into Gaza, they are again faced with these bombardments and they don't know where to go, what to do. And the more than 15,000, just want to put the figures out there, more than 15,000 children have been killed in Gaza, more than 9,500 women have been killed in Palestine. And these atrocities continue. To what end, Brother Nader, and when and how will Israel stop?
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity and the honor to be your guest tonight. Actually, the Israelis' plans is, as I mentioned before several times, is to transfer Palestinian people out of their homeland. Especially start with the first step going to be transfer Palestinian people who are living in Gaza, to displace them with Zionist settlers from everywhere in the world. This is the Israelis' plan, actually, from day one of the establishment of Israel in 1948 on our homeland. So they will never stop. As long as international society, the Western countries, first of all, United States of America government, supporting Israelis blindly, give them the cover and protect them from pay the price of their crimes against humanity. And even if you see what the Americans do for the International Criminal Court, when they decide that they're going to arrest Netanyahu and the defense minister of Israel, they directly, the Congress, the American Congress, decide to punish the International Court, because they are said if they are arrested or make any problem for any American or American ally, they're going to face the American court and they're going to be punished. This is how the American acting. So as long as this is continue, Israel will never stop. This is the Israeli plan. For our plan, the only things we are waiting for from the international community, first of all, stop supplying weapons for the Israelis, Second, stop their diplomatic and political support for the Israelis. Third, deal with the Israelis that no one is above the law. Everyone needs to be under the law and following the resolution and international law and international resolutions. Later on, we are waiting from the international community to support our right of self-declaration by getting our independent Palestinian international resolution was used as it is capital, right of return for Palestinian refugees to authorities according to 194 resolution. This is the only solution for this conflict. This conflict not start on 7th of October. This conflict start actually since the international society, United Nations, decide to establishing Israeli state over Palestinian territories without giving us opportunity to say yes or no about that resolution.
All right, Brother Nader, what about this peace negotiation that Joe Biden, the US president, proposed last Friday? Now, he says in a statement that the US and 16 allied countries are fully supporting the ceasefire and captives release deal that is outlined by the US President Joe Biden. A senior Hamas official says that while the group appreciates Biden's ideas, the current ceasefire proposal does not provide a firm enough commitment that the war is going to end. The foreign ministers of Egypt, Jordan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and UAE also say it is important to deal seriously and positively with this proposal. The US also calls on the UN Security Council members to back this proposed resolution. But Israel, on the other hand, has a lot of question marks when it comes to this very peace proposal that has been proposed by Joe Biden. What is going to be the outcome of this peace proposal? Will it pass? Will Israel accept?
First of all, Palestinian leadership welcome any step to ceasefire, to save and protect our Palestinian people who are killed in cold blood by the Israeli army and Israeli settlers in Gaza and West Bank. We welcome any step, any project, any plan to ceasefire and end this misery and crimes against humanity, which increase in 7th of October. But on the other hand, we will not forget that Mr. Biden, he is the same person and his government will use veto more than 3 times since 7th of October until now to stop the Security Council from taking a decision to ceasefire in Gaza. So we can't ignore that reality on the ground. So the plan of Mr. Biden, actually, we are suspicious that it is only because he wants to win the election in coming November to become a president for second period. This is second thing. The plan which he speak about it, and he actually, it is not clear enough, first. Second, it is not making connected between the 3 stages, first, second, and third. The first stage speak about release some Israeli prisoners. First of all, the double nationality, especially the American prisoners who are between the Palestinian fighters in Gaza, between their hands. On the other hand, he is not speaking about end the war. He speaks about ceasefire for 6 weeks, but he never speaks about end the war, according to what our demand since the start of these crimes against humanity in Gaza. Third, if the Israelis have the right, according to his plan, which is actually, he mentioned it is Israel's plan. So do you waiting from your enemy to take care of his enemy people, which he keep killing them since 7th of October in thousands and injured thousands, damaged more than 80% of Gaza? Do you waiting from them that they are taking care of our blood? I think not. So we need this plan to be serious plan, not only for election, not only to wash the Israelis' face among the international society and make them that they are a country, love peace and stability. Okay. The third thing, we need this war to end immediately, and we need the Americans. If he really is speaking about ceasefire and end this war, why he still give the Israelis more and more weapons to kill more and more Palestinians? So he needs first to end the support for the Israelis by military aid, stop the diplomacy and political support for the Israelis, and stop the Congress from taking decisions against the international organization who are taking steps against the Israelis' crimes.
All right, now let's also talk about you talked about international courts. I'd like to ask you something regarding the International Court of Justice. Spain has said it is going to join the case that was filed again by the South African at this International Court of Justice that accuses Israel of violating its obligations under the Genocide Convention in its war on Gaza. This is the first European country to join the case. Chile and Mexico have already joined South Africa as far as this case is concerned. In mid-May, judges at the top United Nations court had ordered Israel to halt its offensive in the southern Gaza city of Rafah, withdraw from the enclave, citing immense risk to the Palestinian population. But Israel has not accepted or conformed with this decision that has been taken by the ICJ. What is going to be the outcome of decisions taken by the ICJ or the ICC? Will Israel ever comply?
You know, this international organization, ICG and ICC, okay, their decision are non-binding decisions, which means the Israelis can follow or not follow. And as long as the Security Council didn't take a decision to make this decision binding decision, without American veto, we can do nothing according to that. But still, this is good and brave step from these organizations. I hope so. Later on, not only Spain, not only other countries going to follow this case against the Israelis. I hope so later on we're getting all the members of United Nations against the Israelis in this court. We need to see again and again what happened against the apartheid system in South Africa, when all the world was against the government of South Africa, apartheid regime that time, and make them, no one allowed to deal with them, no one allowed to supply weapons for them, no one allowed to give them political or financial or economical support until it is going down and the people of South Africa get real democracy, to have proud and great leadership, lead them again to become more humans by supporting the Palestinian issue as a humanitarian matter. This is what we are waiting from the world, that all the members of the United Nations join this case against the Israelis to make us feel again as a humans, not as a Palestinians, that the international organization have the power to keep peace and stability in the world, and they have the power to give better and great future for the next generation of our children and grandsons in the future. This is what we are waiting from the world right now.
All right. Speaking of children and grandsons and people, WHO, the World Health Organization, says that attacks by Israel have resulted in 727 fatalities, 933 injuries, and have affected 101 health facilities, 113 ambulances since the 7th of October last year. 2/5 of the attacks in Gaza, 23% in North Gaza, 28% in Khan Yunus. 3 mass graves have also been recently discovered at the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza. This adds to the other mass graves that have also been discovered at the Nasser hospital, at the Kamal Adwan hospital in Beit Lahia in northern Gaza, bringing the total to 7. The Israeli military says it has done nothing wrong, but exhumations, of course, suggest a harrowing ordeal for these Palestinians. What's your comment on that? When the World Health Organization talks about the serious blow to health facilities, and when we look at the mass graves in these hospitals as well, shouldn't Israel be held accountable from a humanitarian point of view?
First of all, we're going back again to the Israelis' plan. Israelis' plan is to destroy any resources of life in Gaza. That's why they destroyed more than 80% of Gaza buildings, most of the infrastructure of Gaza, houses, schools, all the universities, 34 hospitals out of 36 hospitals in Gaza Strip, all damaged and destroyed. Even the attack, the headquarters and the schools of United Nations, which actually, according to international law, it is under the protect of the international law, and no one has the right to attack it anyway. The hospitals, according to international law, it need to be protected institute. No military action can be taken against it. But this, because the Israeli plan is to displace, transfer Palestinian people out of Gaza, according to that, they want to destroy any ability, any kind of resources to keep the Palestinians have any opportunity to live in Gaza Strip after the war ends. This is the Israelis' plan. And this taking us for the next step is going to be any opportunity to rebuild Gaza, to facilitate the reconstruction Gaza after the mass damaging of the buildings and infrastructure there. This question need to have answer from the international society. They have the power to make pressure, real and serious pressure, over the Israelis to facilitate the materials to rebuild Gaza, to come to Gaza, and facilitate the money to come to Gaza to rebuild again. Right now, Gaza people don't have homes, don't have any kind of infrastructure, don't have schools, don't have universities, don't have hospitals, don't have even any kind of work or shops to going and start a job to living. This is the Israeli plan: destroy everything, to leave nothing, to stay in Gaza, only to immigrate outside of Gaza. We hope so, hand by hand, international community, all the world, become against the Israelis to rebuild Gaza. And as a Palestinian, I have a promise before, and I keep repeat on behalf of my people, we will build from the rubble of Gaza better future, not only for us, but all for all the humanity, by raising the liberty, raising the freedom, raising the independence, not only for Palestine, not only for Jerusalem, not only for Palestinian people, but for all the humanity.
Brother Nader, I have one last question, and I want a very, very short answer to it. This is a comment, and I'd like your point of view on this. Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir suggests that Israel should take more extreme steps to strengthen its position. He says there are things we have not done yet, and this is a quote by him. We like halting the gas, telling them no more humanitarian aid. We haven't done that. Let's do that for a month or two. See them then. He said this in an interview on Israel's army radio. That means he is asking to stop humanitarian aid. He is asking to stop the gas for months and months together, and then see what effect it has on Palestinians. I'd like your comment on that, but a very short comment.
Actually, Ben-Gvir is lying, because since the 9th of October until now, the Israelis decides of defense minister, I like to remember the humanity about his speech when he said, the defense minister of Israel, that he will stop delivery and supply water, electricity, food, medical supply equipment, gas, and all things for Gaza, because who are living there are humans, animals. This is how the Israeli leadership looking for the Palestinians, exactly how the Nazi was looking for the Jew during the Second World War. So I think the Ben-Gvir, he is anti-Semitism, he is a new Nazi, so we need steps for the world for stop this radicalism in Israel and stand this misery for the Palestinian people, because later on this misery going to be transferred not only for the region but for all the world. Radicalism will raise their voice against humanity, and they're going to kill more and more humans around the world, and then we're going to be in more and more serious problem. And this misery.
Thank you very much. We're short of time. We would have loved to discuss more with you, but thank you so very much to have joined us, to have talked to us about day 244 of this Israel-Palestine conflict. That was Nader Alturk, Deputy Head of Mission, Palestine Embassy in Pakistan, discussing with us the conflict between Israel and Palestine. Let's come to our last two stories. The first is about the world's richest people who are becoming wealthier. This is a report that has been taken out on Wednesday that says that the world has never seen so many rich people and the investments in soaring stock markets that has that has made them even wealthier than ever recorded. The number of high net worth individuals, defined as people with liquid assets of at least $1 million has risen by 5.1% last year to 22.8 million, according to a consulting firm. The total wealth has reached $86.8 trillion in 2023, a 4.7% increase from the previous year. Under the current circumstances, when so many of people are facing situations such as climate change, such as disasters, such as wars, some people are becoming wealthier and wealthier. Finally, the death anniversary of writer Anwarsajjad was observed today, the 5th death anniversary of renowned playwright and fiction writer Anwarsajjad, who was born on 27th of May 1935 in Lahore, was observed today. He had a command on short story writing and fiction, but was also an incredibly talented voiceover artist and teacher. He was awarded the Pride of Performance Award in the year 1989, and he passed away on this very day in Lahore in 2019. May his soul rest in peace. With that, we come to an end of today's newsroom. We'll see you inshallah tomorrow with new stories and segments that pertain to us, you in Pakistan. Stay safe. Allah Hafiz.